Hello and welcome everybody to another character profile. Now this time I have Jac Outlaw, the cousin of the Outlaws. Now, the story for him had kind of come out of nowhere. I thought it would be cool to have a military background for him as his backstory. So basically, the story for him had started that something had happened while he was in the army, an accident, something. And he was presumed dead. He was missing. He was MIA. And then they presumed that he was dead because they couldn't find him. They couldn't find any trace of him. And usually, when people go missing, and if they don't get found within 48 hours or within a few days, the outlook isn't really too good. So, his family had assumed that he was already gone. And he wasn't coming back. So the way I wanted to bring him in was an open challenge for a title. I don't know what it was. I think it was for the Ravage title when we had that back then in RCW. I'm not too sure exactly, but I know it was an open challenge for a title, and it's sort of one of those things where I kept him in a room, and you know, kind of backstage where you keep somebody in a room so that nobody can tell who it is. And then he came out, and I think he won it. I want to say that he did win. And obviously the entire family is shocked because, you know, that there's this guy that they thought was dead for so long. Now he's not. You know, turns out he's not. So, you know, Jac, you know, he struggles with coming back to civilian life. He was a wrestler before military life. Like, he was training. And then, I guess he really wanted to do the military to serve his country, because that's something that was always important to him. So, you know, he served the military, and obviously this whole fiasco came about to where he was involved in an accident of some sort at his base. And they presumed that he was gone or out doing his duty in the army, and he was presumed dead. So to have this story, I wanted it to be real, and that's why I made it the way that I did, because, you know, there's always that thought of, you know, if you have a service member in the service, or a family member in the service, rather, that there's always that thought in the back of your mind, like, what if they don't come back home? And so that's kind of how I wanted to make it, was, let's make it to where the Outlaws are, like, wondering, what the hell, like, how is he back? And he still hasn't really explained it yet on how he's been gone. Throughout those seasons, I didn't want him to explain it. I wanted it to be be a mystery. I plan to reveal it next season. So season 14 of RCW, so keep an eye out for that. On his explanation on him coming back and him, you know, essentially going back to civilian life, which is something that he struggles with mentally. He has that mental struggle of not only the PTSD from the accident, but the whole idea of coming back to civilian life and being able to function normally, because that accident really messed him up. And, you know, he, you know, has the typical mental struggles of a veteran, and he just goes through this turmoil, and his family doesn't really know that he's fighting this. He wants to keep on this brave face, you know, as the Outlaws love to do. You know, keep on that brave face to keep themselves going, keep it going. And, you know, Sky starts to notice some things about Jac, and you're gonna see this in season 14, where she starts to notice all of these things about him, to where she's concerned with him. to where she's concerned with him and she wants to help him and wants to be there for him. And eventually you're going to see Jack have to go away for a bit. And, you know, that's as much as I'm going to give you guys. I don't want to give too much away, but I wanted to really show a real struggle. These stories come from real places, or either in my life or, you know, inspiration. And I really want to show that struggle. And, you know, I try to make my characters relatable as much as possible. And, you know, think about it. We all probably know somebody who's been in the military. And, you know, you always have that constant thought, are they going to come home? Are they going to be the same person or whatever? Or are they going to be completely different? Combat changes you. And, you know, that's definitely something that some people don't understand. But it does. And it shows that constant, you know, mental struggle that Jack goes through. And also his entire family. Because it's going to affect his whole family. And they're kind of just wondering what's next. I wanted to make Jack the first United States champion because I thought he would have been a perfect champion. You know, he's a former Army vet and, you know, he's been through all this turmoil. Let's have him win the title. So when that tournament had come about, I knew for a fact that I wanted him to be champion instantly. And you're going to see this story evolve with Tiger and Puma and the United States Championship to where the United States Championship may not even exist anymore. You know, we might have an Intercontinental title instead. And just do that. So, I don't know. We might not. I don't know. There's a lot up in the air right now for 2K23 and RCW. So, but all I can say is that the stories that are going to evolve and the stories that are going to be told in Season 14 are some of the best stories possible. I always try to improve on the storytelling each season of RCW as we go along. So stay tuned for that. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Jac Outlaw story. You know, he's one of my favorite characters, and you know, I don't have deep backstories for all of my characters. Some of them have deep backstories, some of them don't. It all depends. So, let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you guys on another video.